Hello, my friends, and welcome to this course on positive psychology, leadership, and coaching. Usually I stand when I teach, but I'm just going to rip out a quick video here. I've had a few questions, and one thing I must say about NIPSing students is you're a very polite, kind, nice group of people. I can appreciate that, like all your courses kind of came online this week, and I just kind of had like my little intro, quick email to you. All my content's coming soon. Okay, so this first presentation on the introduction to positive psychology, I'm basically done. I'm looking at recording in the next couple of days, and I'll get it up to you. And as soon as I get that up, I'm gonna kind of do that presentation along with the first assignment. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to kind of space these out. So with this course, I don't want this course to be like super overwhelming for you. I know that a lot of you have full course loads and stuff like that. And the intention that I have for this course isn't just to make a course where you have to do tons of readings and every week it's like 6 readings and then you have to like do something to prove that you read those articles or whatever. It's like, I want this to be more of a learning experience and more personalized. So what I want to do is, I'm sure you can read. I'm sure that you have lots of courses where you have lots of readings. In this course, what I want to do is create basically video presentations for you that you watch the videos and then you do like assignments sort of related to the content we're talking about in ways that allows you to kind of go that extra little bit and dig into topics, because that's the intention of a special topics course. Literally, it's quite specifically designed to give you an opportunity to kind of go off on tangents and go off in directions that a regular course is a little bit too confined, and we have to do chapter 1, then chapter 2, then chapter 3. It's not like that in this course. And on that point, there's no textbook or anything. There's nothing you have to purchase. There's going to be certain articles that at different points I'll include, and I'll either email that to you or I'll put it on Econostoga, or maybe I'll present it to you in a video form. But it's all going to be stuff that I provide to you. Okay, so there's going to be no financial obligation for you at that level. So let's get into the course. So basically it's 4 assignments. Okay, so 4 assignments. If someone's taking notes here and wants to write it down, I tried to make this as straightforward as possible. Basically all the assignments are worth 25%, pretty straightforward. Again, I want this to be a cool course where we basically can explore some kind of pretty deep philosophical ideas, but how they kind of relate to your experience and how you can apply these ideas in terms of coaching and leadership and positive psychology. I'm going to go over all the topics in a sec, but if you wanted to have this down, basically that we're going to do an assignment, a Perma assignment. So Perma is just like, it's an acronym for like a model, for Seligman's model of positive psychology. In the first presentation, I'll like really thoroughly explain that, and then kind of ask you a question based on what I did. So, okay, this is kind of my point, right? I want to try to do high-end work with you that doesn't require tons of like make work. So I'm not going to have you read these 20 things. It's going to take you 10 hours and then you come to class and then whatever, right? It's what I'm going to do is teach you about something and then say, okay, go. Teach you about something and then, okay, go. So in relation to the course, what I'm basically going to start with is an introduction to what positive psychology is and how it's positioned within the broader field of psychology. And I know some of you are taking this as CHSF 4306 and some as Psych 4306. And I did it like that depending on what program you're in and what you need as an elective. So there's some flexibility. So I know that a lot of you have either a psych background, or even if you're in CHFS, you also have a psych background, because like I teach the developmental psych courses in that program too. So I know that you've probably all heard of positive psychology. So what I want to do with this course isn't just be like, give you the 6 things that positive psychology is. What I want to do is kind of paint a picture about how we can apply these ideas to actually make our lives better and to make our families stronger and to make our communities better and to, add value to our life in a challenging social time. So this first presentation, I'm going to be breaking down and really getting into what positive psychology is, some of the history behind it, and sort of where it's positioned within psychology. And then I'll present the idea for the first assignment. Now I'm just realizing live as I'm doing this, I might give you extra time for the first assignment or adjust how I do it just because I'm giving it to you kind of late in the week. So although it's just a short reflection, so maybe we'll keep it as is, and then I'll just give grace for the first assignment if people get it in a little bit late or whatever. I won't care. Okay, so maybe we'll just make that as a kind of unspoken rule, is that the first assignment you can have some extra time if you need it, because I recognize I'm a little bit slow on the jump. Part of that's because the kids are home this week too, right? So the kids being back in school, or my one daughter being back in school, and I have a 5-year-old and a 5-month-old. So yeah, so when the 5-year-old's back at school next week, things will be a little bit more easy time-wise. But anyways, with positive psychology, I want to position it in relation to other psychologies. And then I also want to kind of make this argument with the next week that to really understand positive psychology, we need to understand existential philosophy and existentialism and some of the big names in that tradition, like Nietzsche and Frankl and Martin Buber. And we're going to talk even about Kierkegaard. And we're going to talk about sort of some of these big name, Martin Heidegger in existential thought, Jean-Paul Sartre, Camus. So we're going to talk about like basically these different philosophers and stuff like that. Then I'm going to give you an assignment. The next assignment is going to be you digging deep into one of the topics from one of the first two presentations, right? Either going deep into looking into one of the kind of main influencers of positive psychology, or one of these kind of key existential thinkers that has this huge influence on the development of the field. So I want you to kind of see that. So the first assignment is going to labeling them all as workshops. The first one's basically going to be, I'm going to show you this PERMA model and get you to do a reflection exercise. It'll probably take you a couple hours. It's on a research paper. It's a reflection, right? Number two, I'm basically going to have at that point in the course presented to you my idea of basically what positive psychology is and what existentialism is and how those two things are related. And then I'm going to get you to deep dive into one of the characters I talk about in those presentations. Then after that, in the second kind of component of the course, I'm going to get into looking at the group, because this is the thing, positive psychology and coaching and leadership, it's all about this idea of like optimizing human performance in a group setting, in a social setting. What can we learn about the group from fields like biology and evolutionary ideas or science? What are the influences of biology and evolution on our understanding of being human, but more specifically being social animals, right? Being social creatures. I also want to then take a look at this idea of the group, because I'm going to be continually through this course having this in focus of, okay, so you signed up for this course theoretically because you're interested in things like leadership and coaching and positive psychology and the promotion of wellness. So I'm going to kind of be teaching this course from this perspective of what do these other highly relevant related fields have to offer this understanding, whether we're talking about existential philosophy, whether we're talking about biology and evolutionary understandings of social behavior, whether we're talking about group and humanistic approaches. So this is where I'm going to talk about people like Irvin Yalom and his ideas around what a therapeutic group is. So this is going to have almost like a psychotherapeutic aspect to it. Right, if you're going to be a leader or a coach, you're going to have to be able to understand the psychology of the room. Then that week 7, you don't have classes. Week 8, I'm going to kind of address this idea of sports psychology head on. This is like the most coaching, leadership focused kind of segment of the course, right? So here we're talking about coaching, leadership, and team dynamics. And I think you'll be interested in that presentation. That one's very much my sports psychology presentation. Human drive and motivation, the psychology of performance. This is starting to get now into social cognition. So the field of psychology that is really related to this would be like the cognitive psychologies or the cognitive aspects of psychology. Coaching the mind. So this is, again, very cognitive. And this is where I'm going to get into talking about some of the science behind things like visualization and meditation and relaxation and I'll talk about my time working for Eli Bay as a researcher at a place called the Relaxation Response Institute in Toronto, and working with athletes and stuff. And I'll tell you about that experience. And then the last presentation, the last assignment will be sort of related to those ideas around performance. So kind of around week 8, 9, and 10's material. Okay, so, and then the last presentation is on professional identity, right? So how do we actually, well, professional identity is coaches and leaders. It's kind of a presentation I have on that. And then kind of wrapping it up. So really the kind of key dates for you to, so I hope that sounds interesting to you. I hope I'm going to have a syllabus. I know the school's like right on me to get a syllabus in. This is also the first week of classes for Conestoga where I teach full time. So anyways, I don't mean to be like Mr. Excuses today, but just to give you a little background of why this is a little played. But I'm super excited to get going on this. I'm ready to go. I already have all of these presentations pretty deep in terms of being done. I'm touching them up. This is my first time teaching this class, but I've been interested in these topics for a long time. I've been teaching psych for a long time, and I'm really excited to get into this. So I hope that you found this video sort of interesting. I'll scroll down and just leave this on if you wanted to pause for a sec to write down the dates, right? So real basic, 4 assignments, each of them worth a quarter of your grade. I want this to be a very guesswork-free course, meaning like there's not I'm not playing any games or anything. I'm going to be doing these presentations. I'm going to be giving you 4 assignments, each worth a quarter of your grade. I think if you talk to anyone that's had me as a teacher before, I mark pretty fair. And I'm excited to see how this is going to go. Cheers, take care, and positive psychology video coming soon. Thank you for your patience. And I'm excited to see where this course is going to go. Cheers.